OpenClaw v2026.5.2 just shipped, and the architectural change in this tag is the biggest in months. Bundled plugins move out of the core NPM package and into standalone external distributions. ACPX, Discord, Codex, Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp, VoiceCall, Matrix, Mattermost, Google Chat, plus 20 more, all preparing for external publishing on NPM and a new marketplace called ClawHub. First-class Git plugin installs land. Grok 4.3 becomes the default XAI chat model. New operator commands, proxy validate, gateway restart force, and wait. Plus performance work across the gateway hot paths and a critical GPT-5 SSE responses transport fix. 367,000 stars on GitHub. Daily cadence continues into May. Walking through it. Quick context first. OpenClaw is the most starred software repository on GitHub. 367,583 stars and adding roughly 400 per day this week alone. The release cadence has carried into May without missing a day. v2026.5.2 was published today by Stipite, ships as the standard DMG, zip, DSYM bundles, plus the NPM package. MIT license, TypeScript on Node, bun optional. Roughly 80 changes, plus 120 fixes in the single tag. One of the larger surface areas of the past few weeks, driven by the plugin externalization work. If you scroll the v2026.5.2 release notes, the headlines are organized into 5 buckets. External plugin installation and update is the big one. Gateway and agent hot paths get leaner. Control UI and web chat get more resilient. Messaging fixes across WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Slack, Signal. Provider and media fixes across OpenAI-compatible TTS and real-time. OpenRouter, DeepSeek, Anthropic-compatible streaming. LM Studio reasoning metadata, web search, and music. The structure tells operators exactly which sections of their stack will be touched on upgrade. And the externalization bucket is the one most operators need to think about first. Here's the architectural shift, in concrete terms. Until v2026.5.2, OpenClaw's bundled plugins shipped inside the core NPM package. When you installed OpenClaw, you got Discord, Slack, Codex, VoiceCall, Microsoft Teams, and 20 plus others all in one binary, all loaded into the gateway whether you use them or not. v2026.5.2 begins the cutover to external distribution. Each bundled plugin gets its own NPM package, at OpenClaw/ACPX, at OpenClaw/DiagnosticsOtel, individual packages for Google Chat, Line, Matrix, Mattermost, Blue Bubbles, Diagnostics Prometheus, Google Meet, Nextcloud Talk, Nostr, Zalo, Discord, Lobster, MemoryLanceDB, Microsoft Teams, QQBot, VoiceCall, WhatsApp, Brave, Codex, Faishu, Synology Chat, Telon, Twitch. 25 plus plugins prepare for 2026.5.1 Beta 1 and 2026.5.1 Beta Lazar, publishing to NPM with ClawHub as a parallel distribution surface. The core package footprint gets meaningfully smaller. Operators install only what their stack actually uses, and the official update channels handle missing payload repair on existing installs, so your upgrade path does not break when plugins move. ClawHub is OpenClaw's own plugin marketplace, alongside NPM. Install records carry ClawPack metadata through diagnostics, onboarding, doctor repair, and channel setup. For the launch cutover, explicit ClawHub specs install via ClawHub, while bare package specs continue to use NPM, that gives operators a clean migration path. ClawHub publishes versioned ClawPack artifacts with digest metadata, header verification, downloaded byte verification, persisted artifact integrity, and SHA-SM tracking. There is also a custodian plugin search on ClawHub plus list, search, install, and uninstall operations with approval and audit coverage. The pattern is NPM-style package management for OpenClaw plugins specifically, with cryptographic verification on every install. Companion feature to externalization, first-class Git plugin installs. You can now install a plugin directly from a Git URL with explicit ref checkout, captured commit metadata, the same security scanner and staging path as NPM, and full plugins update support for recorded Git sources. The use case set is broad and concrete. Community plugins that have not yet hit NPM or ClawHub, internal company plugins that live in private GitHub orgs, forks of bundled plugins for testing changes before submitting them upstream, and pre-release or hotfix plugin work that needs to ship before a registry round trip. Combined with externalization, the plugin supply chain in v2026.5.2 looks like a real mature package ecosystem. NPM for stable releases, ClawHub for OpenClaw curated distribution with cryptographic verification, and Git URLs for community and pre-release work. End-to-end, exercising the new surfaces is a handful of commands you can run in sequence. npm install -br brings you to the new release and triggers the one-time configured plugin install repair on first gateway start. OpenClaw plugins install with the git::spec installs a plugin from a Git URL with explicit ref checkout, captured commit metadata, and the same security scanner path as npm. Perfect for community plugins not yet on npm. OpenClaw proxy validate verifies your proxy configuration end-to-end before you deploy proxy-rooted gateway commands. Useful for ops teams running OpenClaw behind corporate proxies. And OpenClaw gateway restart with the force and wait flags gives you scriptable forced restarts with an explicit drain window, so your CI scripts can restart gateways predictably. About a minute total to exercise the new operator tooling. 2 more wins worth flagging in this tag. Performance work across the gateway hot paths, startup, session listing, task maintenance, prompt prep, plugin loading, tool descriptor planning, file system guards, and large runtime configs all get measurably leaner in this release. Plugin runtime preloads now scope to the effective plugin IDs derived from config, startup planning, configured channels, slots, and auto-enable rules, instead of importing every discoverable plugin at boot. The stable system prompt prefix gets cached and reused across dispatch. Session store writes route through a dedicated in-process writer that borrows the validated mutable cache during the writer slot. Avoiding runtime file locks plus repeated sessions, JSON rereads on hot metadata updates. Plus a critical fix, GPT-5 API key sessions now default to the SSE responses transport unless WebSocket is explicitly selected, restoring replies in fresh control UI and web chat beta installs, where the auto WebSocket path connected but produce no model events. If you saw blank GPT-5 responses on a fresh install in the last week, this is the fix. The headline that captures this tag exactly is the externalization summary line. It reads like a single sentence, but it is genuinely doing a lot of operational work. npm first cutover, beta channel fallback, missing payload repair, doctor coverage, all in one architectural bullet. Read it as written. v2026.5.2 is the tag where OpenClaw's plugin distribution model fundamentally changes from one bundled npm package containing everything to a real package ecosystem distributed across npm, ClawHub, and Git URLs. If you self-host, npm install -g and let the one-time configured plugin install repair run on first gateway start. If you ship plugins, this is the tag that finally opens the official publishing path. npm for stable releases, ClawHub for OpenClaw curated distribution, Git for pre-release and community work. Plus you get Grok 4.3 as the XAI default, OpenClaw proxy validate for ops teams, gateway restart force, and wait for scripting predictable restarts, and the GPT-5 SSE responses fix for fresh installs that were producing blank replies. Links to the release notes, the OpenClaw repo, and the project site are all in the description below.